Across cultures and centuries, humans have been captivated by the idea of what lies beyond life, shadowy realms, winding rivers, and eternal landscapes that stretch the imagination. From the ancient Greeks to the Aztecs, every civilization has crafted intricate stories about the afterlife, each one as mysterious as the next. But what drives this universal fascination with the underworld? Is it fear, curiosity, or perhaps the need to make sense of the unknown? Today, we're embarking on a journey through 20 of the most enigmatic underworlds in mythology, each with its own unique vision of what awaits after death. These realms aren't just stories, they're windows into how different cultures understood life, death, and everything in between. Together, we'll uncover their secrets, explore their meanings, and discover how these ancient beliefs continue to shape our world today. Are you ready to step into the shadows and explore the mysteries that have fascinated humanity for millennia? Let's begin. Ancient Egypt's Jouat stands as one of the most fascinating and intricate underworlds in mythology. For the ancient Egyptians, the afterlife wasn't a simple destination but a perilous journey filled with trials and tribulations. The Jouat, a realm of darkness and mystery, was where souls ventured after death, guided by spells and incantations from the sacred Book of the Dead. This journey wasn't for the faint of heart. Souls had to navigate treacherous landscapes, confront fearsome guardians, and prove their worthiness to reach Osiris, the god of the afterlife. At the heart of this journey was the weighing of the heart ceremony, a pivotal moment that determined the soul's fate. The heart, believed to hold the essence of a person's deeds and character, was placed on a scale against the feather of Maat, the goddess of truth and justice. If the heart balanced with the feather, the soul was granted eternal life in the field of reeds, a paradise mirroring the fertile Nile Valley. But if the heart was heavy with wrongdoing, it would be devoured by the monstrous Ammit, condemning the soul to oblivion. The Jouat reflects the Egyptian emphasis on morality, justice, and the eternal nature of the soul. It wasn't just a place of punishment, but a realm where fairness and righteousness prevailed. The Book of the Dead served as a guide, offering prayers, spells, and instructions to help the deceased navigate this complex journey. This belief in a just afterlife underscores the Egyptian conviction that one's actions in life carried profound consequences beyond death. As we leave the sands of Egypt, it's worth noting that the concept of judgment in the afterlife isn't unique to the Jouat. Other cultures also envisioned a similar process where souls were weighed and tested before reaching their eternal resting place. Speaking of which, let's venture to another underworld where judgment and reckoning play an equally significant role. Moving from the depths of Norse mythology, we now journey to the ancient Greeks and their vision of the afterlife, Hades. Far from being a single, uniform realm, Hades was divided into distinct regions, each serving a unique purpose based on the lives and deeds of those who entered. At its heart, this underworld was a reflection of Greek beliefs about morality and justice, where every soul was judged and placed accordingly. At the entrance to Hades, the newly departed would encounter Charon, the summer ferryman tasked with transporting souls across the river Styx. Yet, passage wasn't free famously. The Greeks placed coins on the eyes or in the mouths of the deceased to pay for this final voyage. Those who couldn't pay were said to wander the shores for eternity, a haunting reminder of the importance of preparation even in death. Once inside, souls faced Cerberus, the fearsome three-headed dog guarding the gates, ensuring no one could escape the realm of the dead. Within Hades, the afterlife was divided into different sections, each reserved for souls based on their earthly lives. Elysium, often described as a paradise of eternal spring, was reserved for heroes and the virtuous, a reward for their noble deeds. In stark contrast, Tartarus awaited the wicked, a dark, tormented abyss where criminals and those who angered the gods were punished for their misdeeds. For the vast majority, however, the fields of asphodel offered a neutral, shadowy existence, a place where ordinary souls drifted endlessly, neither rewarded nor punished. The Greek vision of the afterlife was deeply tied to the concept of moral accountability. It wasn't just about where you ended up, but why. Your actions in life directly shaped your fate in death. This belief in a moral afterlife influenced everything from Greek rituals to their daily behavior, reminding the living that their choices carried weight beyond the grave. As we leave the structured geography of Hades, it's fascinating to consider how other cultures envisioned their underworlds. For instance, the ancient Egyptians saw the afterlife as a journey through a series of trials, each step testing the soul's worthiness. This shift in perspective invites us to explore how different societies grappled with the mysteries of what lies beyond life. In the frost-kissed realms of Norse mythology, Hell stands as a stark contrast to the grandeur of Valhalla. This underworld, ruled by the enigmatic goddess who shares its name, is a place of cold mists and shadowed landscapes, far removed from the feasting halls of Odin's chosen warriors. Hell is where those who did not die in battle find their eternal rest, a realm that's neither a paradise nor a torment, but a quiet, somber reflection of life's inevitable end. Unlike Valhalla, which welcomes the bravest of warriors to prepare for Ragnarok, Hell is for the ordinary souls, those who lived and died without the glory of combat. It's a place of neutrality where the mundane realities of existence continue, albeit in a muted, eternal form. This division between Hell and Valhalla underscores a core belief in Norse mythology, that death is not just an end, but a destiny shaped by one's actions in life. The Norsemen saw fate as an unbreakable thread woven by the Norns, and death as a journey guided by that thread. Hell, in its quiet, unassuming way, serves as a reminder that not all afterlives are filled with grandeur or punishment. Some are simply a continuation of life's quieter moments. As we move from the icy realm of Hell, we'll explore a vastly different underworld, one where the flames of judgment burn brightly and the concept of an afterlife takes on a far more intense form. The Aztecs envisioned the afterlife as a perilous journey through Mictlan, a 9-layered underworld shrouded in darkness and mystery. Each level presented its own set of challenges, from icy winds to rivers of blood, testing the soul's endurance and resolve. Unlike other mythologies where one's actions in life determined their fate, the Aztecs believed that most souls, no matter their deeds, would eventually find themselves in Mictlan. Only those who died in specific ways, like warriors in battle or women in childbirth, were exempt from this arduous path. This belief shaped much of Aztec culture, influencing rituals and practices designed to aid the deceased on their journey. Offerings, prayers, and even physical objects were buried with the dead to help them navigate the trials of Mictlan. As we leave this shadowy realm behind, let's turn our attention to a stark contrast, a place where the afterlife is marked by tranquility and rest, offering a gentler vision of what lies beyond. Now, let's journey into the fifth underworld, Hinduism's Naroka. Unlike some of the more neutral or even welcoming realms we've explored so far, Naroka is vividly depicted as a place of punishment for those who have lived sinful lives. Here, souls are judged by Yoma, the god of death, who meticulously reviews their actions to determine their fate. At the heart of this judgment lies the concept of karma, the universal principle of cause and effect. Every deed, whether good or bad, shapes one's destiny, and those burdened with negative karma must endure time in Naroka as a form of purification before they can move on. The punishments in Naroka are said to be tailored to the sins committed. For example, a liar might face torment that mirrors the harm their deceit caused, while a thief could experience loss or deprivation in ways that echo their crimes. This system isn't just about retribution, it's deeply tied to Hindu teachings about justice, morality, and the importance of living a righteous life. Naroka serves as a stark reminder that our actions have consequences, not just in this life but in the next. What's fascinating is how Naroka isn't seen as a final destination. Instead, it's a temporary state, a kind of spiritual rehabilitation where souls learn from their mistakes and eventually earn a chance for rebirth. This idea reflects Hinduism's broader belief in reincarnation and the cyclical nature of existence. It's a powerful moral lesson, emphasizing personal responsibility and the potential for growth even after death. As we leave the rigid structure of Naroka behind, we'll shift our focus to a culture with a more ambiguous view of the afterlife. Not every underworld is so clearly defined, and some leave room for interpretation, blending punishment with mystery and uncertainty. In the ancient world of Mesopotamia, death was seen not as a passage to paradise, but as a descent into the shadowy depths of Urkalla, a realm as somber as it is fascinating. Imagine a place where the air is thick with dust and the light of life never reaches. This is Urkalla, ruled by the formidable goddess Ereshkigal, a figure as mysterious as the underworld she governs. Unlike other mythologies where the afterlife is shaped by one's actions in life, Urkalla spares no one. Whether you were a king or a commoner, a hero or a villain, all souls found their way to this desolate domain, a stark reminder of the inevitability of death in Mesopotamian belief. For the people of Mesopotamia, the afterlife wasn't a place of reward or punishment. It was simply a continuation of existence in a diminished form. Souls in Urkalla were thought to live on in a state of dullness, stripped of the vibrancy of life. This bleak outlook reflects the ancient Mesopotamians' pragmatic view of death as a natural, if unwelcome, part of the human experience. Interestingly, their myths even describe the dead as consuming nothing but dust and clay, a haunting image that underscores the starkness of this underworld. Yet, even within this grim realm, there's a certain poetic beauty in the way Mesopotamian mythology confronts the inevitability of death. It doesn't sugarcoat or romanticize, it presents life and death in raw, unflinching terms. And while Urkalla may seem like a place devoid of hope, its very existence serves as a powerful reminder of the human need to make sense of mortality. Now, as we leave the dusty plains of Urkalla behind, we'll journey to an underworld that offers a striking contrast, a realm where the afterlife is anything but dull, and where vibrant myths paint a picture of life beyond death that's as colorful as it is intriguing. Moving deeper into the realms of mythology, we arrive at the seventh underworld, Diyu, a fascinating and intricate afterlife from Chinese tradition. Picture a vast, labyrinthine world with multiple levels, each designed to administer justice and retribution. This is not a single, simple realm, but a complex system tailored to the deeds of the soul in life. Diyu serves as a place of judgment where the dead face the consequences of their actions on earth. The system is rigorous, ensuring that every soul receives a punishment or reward that matches their moral conduct. At the heart of Diyu are the 10 kings of hell, each presiding over a specific court. These kings are not merely enforcers but judges, meticulously evaluating the lives of the departed. They weigh virtues against sins, determining the appropriate path for each soul. The process is detailed and methodical, reflecting a deep-rooted belief in fairness and accountability. Souls may endure trials, face punishments, or even be granted opportunities for redemption, depending on their moral standing. This system underscores the Chinese philosophy that justice is not arbitrary but a precise balance that must be upheld, even in the afterlife. One of the most striking aspects of Diyu is its connection to reincarnation. After undergoing judgment and, if necessary, punishment, souls are eventually reborn into a new life. This cycle of death, judgment, and rebirth is a cornerstone of Chinese cosmology, emphasizing the idea that life is a continuous journey of moral growth. Diyu is not just a place of retribution, but also a mechanism for spiritual refinement, guiding souls toward better incarnations. The concept of Diyu reveals much about ancient Chinese values, particularly the emphasis on justice, moral conduct, and the belief that actions have consequences. It is a vivid representation of the idea that life and death are intertwined, with each influencing the other in a perpetual cycle. As we leave Diyu behind, we turn our gaze to another culture that embraces a similarly cyclical view of existence, one that sees life and the afterlife as part of an endless, interconnected process. Stay with us as we explore this next intriguing underworld. In Celtic mythology, the Otherworld is often described as a place of perpetual youth, boundless beauty, and endless abundance. Unlike the dark and foreboding underworlds of other cultures, this realm is a shimmering paradise, a land where time stands still and the weary soul finds rest and renewal. The Celts envisioned it as a place intertwined with the natural world, often hidden just beyond the veil of the forests, rivers, and sacred groves. It was said to be accessible through gateways like fairy mounds or mist-covered lakes, where the boundaries between the mortal realm and the divine blurred. The Otherworld wasn't just a destination for the dead. It was a place where the living could venture, often through the guidance of deities or magical beings. Heroes and poets would sometimes enter this realm, returning with tales of its wonders or gifts of wisdom. This connection to the natural world underscored the Celtic belief in the sacredness of the earth and its cycles. Rituals and festivals like Samhain marked moments when the veil between worlds was at its thinnest, allowing for easier passage and communication with the spirits of the otherworld. Reincarnation played a central role in Celtic afterlife beliefs. Death was seen not as an end but as a transition, a return to the otherworld before being reborn into the mortal realm. This fluid boundary between life and death reflected a worldview where existence was cyclical and the soul was eternal. The Celts embraced the idea that life and death were part of a greater continuum, with the otherworld serving as both a sanctuary and a place of preparation for the next journey. As we leave the ethereal beauty of the Celtic otherworld, we step into a realm that takes a strikingly different approach to the afterlife, a structured and meticulously organized underworld that reflects a society deeply invested in order, justice, and balance. Deep within the shadows of Japanese mythology lies Yomi, a realm as haunting as it is inevitable. Picture a place of perpetual darkness where decay clings to every corner and the air itself feels heavy with the weight of finality. This is the underworld ruled by Izanami, the goddess of creation and death, who herself became its queen after her tragic demise. Yomi isn't just a destination for the dead, it's a reflection of the Japanese understanding of death as an unyielding force, a natural part of existence that cannot be escaped or undone. The story of Yomi takes a dramatic turn with Izanagi, Izanami's husband, who ventures into this grim realm in a desperate attempt to bring her back to the world of the living. Armed with a comb and a torch, Izanagi navigates the oppressive darkness, only to find Izanami transformed by her time in Yomi. She warns him not to look at her, but in a moment of weakness he does, and what he sees is horrifying. Her once beautiful form is now a decaying shadow of its former self. Terrified, Izanagi flees, but Izanami, furious and betrayed, sends spirits to chase him. In a final act of separation, Izanagi blocks the entrance to Yomi with a massive boulder, sealing it off forever. This myth underscores a profound truth in Japanese culture. Death is irreversible, and attempting to defy it only leads to greater sorrow. Rituals play a crucial role in navigating this inevitable journey. In Japanese tradition, proper ceremonies and offerings ensure the deceased find peace in Yomi, preventing their spirits from lingering and causing unrest. This belief in the importance of honoring the dead resonates deeply, reminding us that even in the face of death, there's a way to maintain balance and respect. As we leave the somber stillness of Yomi, we turn to an afterlife that couldn't be more different, a realm of chaos and unpredictability. What happens when the underworld is less about order and more about upheaval? Let's find out. In Polynesian mythology, the afterlife unfolds in the mysterious realm of Po, a shadowy world where souls find their eternal rest. Unlike the fiery or icy underworlds of other traditions, Po is often described as a place of darkness and stillness, a final destination for the departed. But it's not just a void. Po is deeply intertwined with creation myths, representing the primordial chaos from which life itself emerged. In this belief system, life and death are not opposites but two sides of the same cosmic cycle, eternally connected and interdependent. The journey to Po is as significant as the destination itself. Polynesian traditions often depict the soul's path as a series of challenges or tests, where the deceased must prove their worthiness to enter this sacred realm. Once there, the soul becomes part of a greater spiritual tapestry, merging with the ancestors who came before. This concept of unity between the living and the dead underscores a profound respect for lineage and the idea that the past, present, and future are all interwoven. What's fascinating about Po is how it reflects the Polynesian worldview, a belief in balance, harmony, and the cyclical nature of existence. Life is seen as a gift from the gods, and death is not an end but a return to the source, completing the circle. This perspective fosters a deep reverence for ancestors and a recognition of their ongoing influence in the world of the living. Now, as we move from this shadowy, unified realm, we'll step into a very different vision of the afterlife, one where the fate of souls is sharply divided, reflecting a dualistic view of morality and justice. Get ready to explore a world where the dead are judged and their eternal destiny is determined by the lives they led. In Native American mythology, the spirit world stands as a profound and sacred realm where souls reunite with their ancestors, forming an eternal bond that transcends the boundaries of life and death. This spiritual domain is deeply intertwined with the natural world, reflecting the belief that all life is interconnected: humans, animals, plants, and even the elements. The journey to the spirit world is often seen as a path of harmony, where the soul returns to its origins, blending seamlessly with the forces of nature. For many tribes, this afterlife is not a distant, abstract place, but a tangible, vibrant existence that mirrors the cycles of the earth. The beliefs surrounding the spirit world vary significantly among Native American tribes, each with its own unique interpretation. For the Lakota, it's a place called Wanogi Makos, where spirits live in peace, guided by the wisdom of their ancestors. The Navajo envision it as a realm where souls must navigate challenges to achieve balance, reflecting their emphasis on harmony in life. Meanwhile, the Iroquois see the spirit world as a continuation of the community, where the living and the dead remain connected through rituals and stories. These diverse perspectives highlight the richness of Native American spirituality and its deep respect for the natural order. What unites these beliefs is the idea that death is not an end but a transition, a return to a greater whole. The spirit world is a place of unity where the soul's journey reflects the timeless rhythms of the earth itself. As we explore these intricate afterlife beliefs, it's impossible not to marvel at their depth and beauty. And speaking of intricate beliefs, our next underworld takes us to a culture that crafted one of the most elaborate and fascinating visions of the afterlife. An underworld filled with divine judges, celestial gatekeepers, and the promise of eternal rewards. Deep in the shadowy realms of Slavic mythology lies Nav, a mysterious and mist-shrouded underworld ruled by the enigmatic god Veils. Unlike the fiery pits or glittering heavens of other mythologies, Nav is a place of perpetual twilight where the boundaries between life and death blur into an eerie, almost dreamlike existence. Here, Veils, the god of the earth, waters, and the underworld, presides over the souls of the departed, guiding them through this dark, eternal realm. For the Slavs, Nav wasn't just a final resting place, it was a vital part of the cycle of life and death. They believed that the spirits of the dead, known as Navki or Mavki, could influence the living world, especially if they had unfinished business or died tragically. These spirits were thought to wander the earth during certain times of the year, particularly during the spring and autumn equinoxes when the veil between worlds was at its thinnest. This belief shaped many Slavic rituals, from offerings to the dead to protective measures against restless spirits. Nav's connection to the natural world is profound. The Slavs saw death not as an end, but as a transition, a return to the earth that would eventually give rise to new life. This cyclical view of existence was deeply intertwined with their agricultural practices and seasonal celebrations, reflecting a harmony between the living and the dead. But Nav's misty, unstructured nature stands in stark contrast to the next underworld we'll explore, a realm where the afterlife is meticulously organized and every soul has a designated place in its grand design. In many African mythologies, the ancestral realm is not just a destination for the dead, it's a vibrant, living connection between generations. This underworld is seen as a sacred space where ancestors continue to play an active role in the lives of their descendants. Rather than fading into obscurity, they become spiritual guides, offering wisdom, protection, and even intervention in times of need. This belief underscores a profound respect for elders and a deep understanding of life's continuity beyond death. Rituals and ceremonies are central to maintaining this bond. Offerings, prayers, and communal gatherings are ways to honor ancestors and seek their blessings. These practices aren't just about remembrance, they're about sustaining a relationship that transcends the physical world. In many African cultures, death is viewed not as an end but as a transformation, a passage into a new form of existence where the dead remain deeply intertwined with the living. This perspective fosters a strong sense of community and belonging. The ancestral realm reminds people that they are part of something greater, a lineage that stretches back through time. It's a worldview that emphasizes interconnectedness, responsibility, and the enduring power of family and tradition. While the ancestral realm is a place of guidance and reverence, not all underworlds are so benevolent. In some cultures, the afterlife takes on a more severe tone, where actions in life are met with strict judgment. This contrast invites us to explore how different societies imagine the consequences of one's deeds beyond the grave. In the Zoroastrian tradition, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions, the afterlife is marked by a profound moment of reckoning. At the heart of this belief lies the Chinvat bridge, a spiritual crossing that serves as the ultimate test for every soul. This bridge is no ordinary path. It's said to widen for the righteous, allowing them to walk confidently into the bliss of heaven, known as the House of Song. Yet for those burdened by wrongdoing, the bridge narrows to a razor's edge, leading them into the abyss of the House of Lies, a realm of darkness and despair. This duality reflects the core Zoroastrian principle of cosmic balance, where good and evil are locked in an eternal struggle. The judgment at the Chinvat bridge isn't arbitrary, it hinges on the deeds of the individual during their lifetime. Good thoughts, words, and actions tip the scales in favor of a heavenly reward, while selfishness, cruelty, and deceit lead to condemnation. This emphasis on personal responsibility underscores the Zoroastrian belief in free will. Each soul shapes its own destiny through its choices. It's a powerful reminder that the afterlife isn't just a distant destination but the culmination of a life lived with intention. Yet not all underworlds are so starkly divided. As we turn our gaze forward, we'll encounter a realm where the afterlife takes on a more neutral tone, where the journey of the soul isn't defined by stark contrasts of heaven and hell, but by a more subtle and complex existence. Stay with us as we uncover another fascinating chapter in the tapestry of mythological underworlds. deep within Mayan mythology lies Zabalba, a name that translates to place of fright. This underworld is no ordinary realm of the dead. It's a labyrinth of trials, illusions, and traps designed to test the souls of the departed. Imagine a world where every step could lead to a deadly pitfall or a river of blood, where darkness is alive and the air is heavy with dread. Zabalba is ruled by the Lords of Death, malevolent deities who take cruel pleasure in tormenting those who enter their domain. But this isn't just a tale of fear. It's also a story of resilience and triumph, embodied by the legendary hero twins Hunahpu and Xibalba. These brave brothers ventured into Zabalba to avenge their father's death, outsmarting the Lords of Death and overcoming unimaginable challenges. Their journey reflects the Mayan belief that the afterlife isn't a final destination but a perilous journey requiring wit, courage, and divine favor. Zabalba teaches us that even in the face of relentless darkness, hope and ingenuity can prevail. As we move from this world of trials, let's explore an underworld that offers a stark contrast, a realm where peace and harmony reign supreme, guiding souls to their eternal rest. Next, we journey to the frigid, unforgiving realm of Adlivun, a world that exists beneath the icy waters in Inuit mythology. This stark underworld is the domain of Sedna, the powerful goddess of the sea and marine life. Adlivun is far from a place of eternal rest. It's a cold, shadowy underworld where the spirits of the departed reside after their physical lives end. For the Inuit, the journey to Adlivun is one of both physical and spiritual significance, tied deeply to the harsh realities of their Arctic environment. The Inuit believed that after death, souls would descend into Adlivun, where Sedna would oversee their existence. But the connection between the living and the dead didn't end there. The spirits in Adlivun were thought to influence the living world, particularly in matters of hunting and survival. The Inuit would perform rituals to honor these spirits, ensuring their favor and protection in the unforgiving Arctic landscape. This interplay between the living and the dead highlights a profound respect for the spiritual forces that shape their daily lives. But Adlivun isn't just about the afterlife. It's a reflection of the Inuits' deep connection to the sea and the natural world. Sedna's role as a guardian of marine life further emphasizes this bond, as she governs not only the dead but also the resources that sustain the living. This duality makes Adlivun a unique underworld, one that bridges the physical and spiritual realms in ways that are deeply tied to the survival and identity of the Inuit people. And as we leave the icy depths of Adlivun, we prepare to explore an underworld where the afterlife is not just a continuation of life but a complete transformation. A realm where the very essence of existence is reshaped, offering a stark contrast to the cold, static world we've just encountered. Aboriginal mythology introduces us to the Dreamtime, a profound spiritual realm that transcends the boundaries of life and death. Unlike many underworlds we've explored, the Dreamtime isn't merely a destination for the deceased. It's the very essence of existence, where the past, present, and future intertwine. In this sacred space, souls return after death, reuniting with their ancestors and the eternal spirits that shape the world. The Dreamtime is deeply intertwined with creation myths, acting as the source from which life emerged and the land itself was formed. For Aboriginal cultures, the Earth is more than just a physical place. It's a living, breathing entity imbued with spiritual significance. Every mountain, river, and tree holds a story, a connection to the Dreamtime that binds the natural world to the divine. Death in this context isn't an end but a transition, a return to the Dreamtime, where the soul becomes part of an endless cycle of renewal. This belief reflects a harmonious worldview where life, death, and the land are inseparable. As we move forward, we'll explore another culture, one that envisioned an afterlife with a more structured and hierarchical approach, offering a fascinating contrast to the fluid spirituality of the Dreamtime. Moving from the underworlds of ancient cultures, we now arrive at one of the most widely recognized realms in all of mythology, hell as depicted in Christian tradition. Unlike many underworlds we've explored, hell is not a place of neutrality or balance. It is a stark, fiery domain reserved for the eternal punishment of sinners. This concept has been deeply ingrained in Christian theology, with vivid descriptions found in religious texts like the Bible, particularly in passages such as the Book of Revelation. Here, hell is portrayed as a place of unending torment, where the wicked are separated from God's presence forever. The imagery of hell has also been a powerful force in art and literature, shaping how we visualize this underworld even today. Medieval painters often depicted it with terrifying detail: rivers of fire, demons with pitchforks, and the anguished cries of the damned. These representations were meant to serve as moral warnings, urging people to live virtuous lives to avoid such a grim fate. But hell is only one side of the coin in Christian afterlife beliefs. Alongside it stands the promise of salvation, a heavenly paradise where the faithful are rewarded with eternal peace and communion with God. This duality of punishment and reward has been central to Christian teachings for centuries, offering both a dire warning and a hopeful message. As we prepare to leave the fiery depths of hell, it's worth noting that not all underworlds are so black and white. Next, we'll explore a realm where the afterlife is far more ambiguous, a place where the lines between reward and punishment blur, and where the journey of the soul takes on a very different meaning. Stay with us as we venture into this fascinating and enigmatic underworld. In Buddhist mythology, the realm of Pritaloka offers a haunting glimpse into the consequences of past actions. Often referred to as the realm of hungry spirits, this underworld is inhabited by beings known as pretas, souls tormented by insatiable hunger and thirst. Imagine a world where every drop of water turns to fire the moment it touches your lips, or where food transforms into ash before it can nourish you. This is the grim reality for those who find themselves in Pritaloka, a fate tied directly to their actions in previous lives. In Buddhism, the cycle of rebirth is governed by karma, the universal law of cause and effect. Those who lived selfishly, hoarding resources or neglecting the needs of others, may be reborn as pretas as a result of their negative karma. But Pritaloka isn't just a realm of punishment, it's also a profound lesson in compassion and morality. Buddhist teachings encourage individuals to practice generosity and mindfulness, not only to avoid such a fate but to cultivate a life of virtue. The suffering of the pretas serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of all beings and the importance of selfless actions. In this way, Pritaloka becomes a mirror reflecting the consequences of greed and the transformative power of empathy. As we leave this realm behind, we're drawn to another fascinating underworld, one that embodies a more cyclical view of the afterlife, a concept deeply rooted in another ancient culture's beliefs. Transitioning from the mystical underworlds we've explored so far, we come to the Roman underworld, a fascinating blend of Greek influences and distinctly Roman ideas. At its core, the Roman underworld was ruled by Pluto, a figure borrowed from Greek mythology but reshaped to fit Roman cultural values. Unlike the Greeks' Hades, Pluto was seen as a more pragmatic and less fearsome deity, reflecting the Romans' practical approach to life and death. Souls in Roman mythology embarked on a journey after death, crossing the river Styx just as in Greek tradition, but with a heightened focus on judgment and the moral weight of one's earthly deeds. The Roman afterlife wasn't just a place for souls to reside, it was a mirror of their society's values. The virtuous were rewarded in the Elysian fields, a paradise reserved for heroes and those who lived with honor. Meanwhile, the wicked were condemned to Tartarus, a realm of torment and punishment. This emphasis on justice and morality underscored the Roman belief in maintaining order both in life and beyond. Even in death, the Romans sought to reinforce the societal structures that defined their empire. What's particularly striking about the Roman underworld is how it evolved over time. As Rome expanded and absorbed new cultures, their afterlife beliefs became more inclusive, blending elements from conquered peoples with their own traditions. This adaptability speaks volumes about their worldview, one that valued unity and integration, even in their vision of the afterlife. As we reflect on the 20 underworlds and their unique afterlife beliefs, it's striking to see how deeply these myths have shaped the cultures that created them. From the shadowy depths of the Greek Hades to the fiery realms of Hindu Naroka, each underworld offers a window into how ancient civilizations grappled with life's greatest mysteries. These stories weren't just tales of the dead, they were reflections on morality, justice, and the human condition. The belief in rewards and punishments after death, for instance, often served as a way to reinforce societal values and encourage ethical behavior. The Norse hell, with its somber yet fair judgment, or the Egyptian Jouat, with its intricate trials of the heart, remind us that the afterlife was seen as an extension of life itself, a place where actions had consequences. What's equally fascinating is how these myths transcend their cultural origins, offering universal themes that resonate even today. The idea of an afterlife, whether filled with light or shadows, speaks to our shared longing for meaning beyond mortality. These stories also highlight the diversity of human imagination, how different cultures envisioned the unknown in ways that were both comforting and terrifying. The Aztec Mictlan, with its 9 challenging levels, or the serene fields of Elysium in Greek mythology, show us that the afterlife was as varied as the people who dreamed it into existence. These myths have left an indelible mark on art, literature, and even modern storytelling. They remind us that the questions we ask about life and death are timeless. And while we may never know what lies beyond, these ancient beliefs invite us to ponder, to wonder, and to seek understanding. If these stories have sparked your curiosity, I encourage you to dive deeper into the mythologies we've explored. Each culture has so much more to offer, and uncovering these treasures can be a journey in itself. Let me know in the comments which underworld or afterlife belief resonated with you the most. I'd love to hear your thoughts. To close, I'll leave you with a quote from the philosopher Seneca: "Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it." These words remind us that the mystery of the afterlife is not something to fear, but something to embrace, a testament to the enduring power of human imagination and our eternal quest for understanding. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the underworlds, and may it inspire you to explore the wonders of mythology even further.